Hey everyone, welcome to another 5 Minutes with, in this case, 5 Minutes with Parker McCumber, who is a former captain in the military, an award-winning entrepreneur, and a best-selling author. Parker, great to have you here. So, Parker, what have you obviously have a great deal of wisdom and experience in business. What has been one of the keys to success that you have found?
The secret for me was implementing the military inspired leadership models that you learn commanding soldiers and plugging those into businesses. The same principles that win in war win in business.
Okay. All right. So tell me more about that. What does that actually look like? What does that mean?
Sure. So I systematize my leadership and team development with things like a mission brief. In short, a mission brief is what's the objective in the end state. We share that clear vision with the team. We
Right.
assign very clear left and right limits, where
Okay.
they're allowed to operate within and who has decision making responsibility. And then we entrust them to take action and go achieve the objective. We pair that with something called an after action review on the back end, where we assess what was supposed to happen, achieving
Right.
that end state, what
Okay.
actually happened, what do we need to do better next time? So we're in this process of improvement, and what do we need to do the same on our next attempt? And if you can answer those questions and pair it with a mission brief, you put your team in a position of always improving, always knowing what needs to happen to do it
Okay.
better next time.
Right. So instilling that growth mindset, you're talking about creating parameters, as my friend and speaking colleague Jennifer Spear talks about. You're talking about creating the sandbox with which people can kind of play in. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So Parker, let me ask you this. I suspect some people, when they hear the phrase, military kind of system or military operating system, they might fear that a little bit. They might be concerned because, as we know, high performing workplace cultures, we talk about things like collaboration. We talk about things like lowering the power differential in the hierarchy and
Mm-hmm.
cooperation, which some of those things may, in some people's minds, be the antithesis of a military approach. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. And it's a common misconception, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
people think of the drill sergeant that they see on a movie that's just
Right.
barking orders and shoving a knife hand in your face. The reality is, the military is the ultimate team sport. We are broken down in basic training, and that's what you actually see when you see those drill sergeants. They're breaking down the individual to build you up as the team player.
Okay.
So I actually find that when you can systematize the leadership, you set very clear expectations, and it actually builds a lot of trust across the organization because everyone knows what the standards are, what the leadership is expecting, and what the performance standard needs to be.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. So you're definitely not. See, my mind went immediately to the movie An Officer and a Gentleman, and
Mm,
the drill sergeant in the
yeah,
face,
right in your face.
insulting people, right? So you're not suggesting that, Parker, are you?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. So you've seen the benefit of this, obviously, in action. It sounds
Oh,
like it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was able to grow my e-commerce company when I started in 2016 from, nothing, me bootstrapping in my grandmother's basement
Right.
to now doing over $15 million a year in annual
Wow.
revenue. And when I reverse engineered what it actually took to do that, the first domino that I had to figure out how to push over was if I wanted $1 million business, I needed to build $1 million team. So
Hmm.
then what needed to be true to build that team?
Right.
I just fell back on what I had learned being in the military the previous 5 to 10 years was
Yeah.
I needed to build a system that would develop my players as the organization grew.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So it's obviously a very logical, analytical approach to everything,
Absolutely.
creating those systems. And you mentioned reverse engineering, which is something I think a lot of people don't do enough of. Is that fair to say? I think in
Oh,
businesses, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. That's the beauty of the after action review that I was just telling you about is you're
Yeah.
reverse engineering what actually occurred
Right.
so you know how to do it better. You're constantly learning. And I think that's a key to success that most people miss out on. You get to
Totally.
a level of success, you think you're an expert, you don't stop learning there. You got to keep learning.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep trying new ideas. Okay, we have like 18 seconds left, Parker. What's your final message for folks here?
I think the biggest obstacle for people is fear, whether that's the fear of failure or the fear of rejection. If you can put yourself in a learner's mindset, you can conquer both. The reason I say that
Love it.
is you're always getting better.
Always getting better. What a great note to end on. Thank you so much, Parker.
Michael, that was a ton of fun. Thank you.